The crystalline prison hummed with a frequency that made David's teeth ache. He stood before the containment field, his reflection ghosting across its surface. A young xenobiologist, barely 30, with dark circles under his eyes from 3 sleepless rotations studying the creature within. She called herself Anna, though the translation matrix struggled with her actual designation. The AI rendered it as something between a quantum state and a color humans couldn't perceive. "You're starring again, David Tors." Her voice resonated not through the air but directly in his auditory cortex, courtesy of the neural link all research staff were required to maintain. "In my culture, such prolonged observation constitutes a marriage proposal." David flushed and checked his biometric scanner, pretending he hadn't heard. Anna's form shifted within the containment field, sometimes humanoid, sometimes something else entirely. Today she wore what his mind interpreted as a woman's shape, tall, with skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, and eyes that held the depth of interstellar space. The Meridian station orbited a dead star, 17 light-years from Earth. They'd found Anna's ship drifting in the accretion disk 3 months ago, a vessel made of matter that shouldn't exist according to known physics. She was the sole survivor, or so she claimed. "The gravitational readings are spiking again," called out Dr. Yuki Chen from her station across the lab. "Whatever she is, she's bending spacetime just by existing." "I'm not in it, Doctor," Anna said, her voice carrying to all the neural links simultaneously. "And I've told you what I am, a daughter of the Karim ascendancy, what you might call royalty." David approached the field's interface panel. "Your vital signs are deteriorating. The containment field is designed for standard carbon-based life forms. Your exotic matter composition is being slowly annihilated by your primitive cage," Anna interrupted. Her form flickered, revealing something underneath, a geometric impossibility that hurt to perceive. "I've been patient, David. I've answered your questions, submitted to your tests, but my time is running out." "We're trying to adapt the field parameters," David said, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "If you just give us more data about your physiology." "Data?" The word dripped with contempt. "You speak of data while I fade from this reality. Do you know what it's like, human? To feel yourself becoming probability instead of certainty, to sense your quantum coherence unraveling." David's hand stilled. In 3 months he'd learned to read her moods, the subtle shifts in her bioluminescent patterns. She was genuinely afraid. "Then help us help you," he said quietly. Anna's laugh was like silver bells in a vacuum. "The help I need, your protocols forbid. I've read your minds, David, all of you. I know the regulations. No physical contact. No release from containment until I've been properly studied." She pressed against the field's inner boundary and reality rippled. "But I'm dying in here." The station's AI chimed in, cold and mechanical. "Containment Protocol Alpha 7 remains in effect. Subject Anna poses unknown risks to station integrity and personnel safety." "Unknown risks," Anna echoed mockingly. She fixed her impossible eyes on David. "Come closer." Despite every instinct screaming caution, David stepped forward until mere centimeters separated him from the containment field. This close, he could see that her skin wasn't truly solid. It was composed of infinitesimal particles in constant motion, like a galaxy compressed into human form. "You feel it too," she whispered, and her voice was suddenly gentle, almost vulnerable. "This connection. Since the first day you walked into this lab, I've been inside your mind. Not reading your thoughts, I respect you too much for that violation, but feeling your resonance. Your frequency matches mine, David Tors. 1 in 10 billion of your species might be compatible with one of mine." Compatible for what? But even as he asked, David knew, his pulse quickened. "For this." The word carried layers of meaning his human brain struggled to process. "My people don't reproduce as yours do. We merge quantum states. We share consciousness across dimensional boundaries. We experience desire not as chemical urges but as gravitational inevitabilities, two bodies drawn together across the fabric of spacetime itself. Dr. Chen's voice crackled over the comm. David, her gravitational signature is increasing. Whatever you're doing, step back. But David couldn't move. Anna's hand pressed against the inside of the containment field, and he found his own hand rising to mirror it. Though they didn't touch, he felt something, a warmth that had nothing to do with thermal energy. "They'll never let me out," Anna said. "Not until I'm too weak to be a threat. By then, I'll be too weak to survive. I'll dissipate across parallel universes and a piece of you will dissipate with me. Because that's what this connection means. We've become quantum entangled, you and I." David's scientific mind rebelled. "That's not possible. Quantum entanglement doesn't work with macroscopic objects, certainly not with sentient beings. Your physics is incomplete." Anna's form solidified, became more human, more real than she'd ever appeared. "I could show you. I could teach you what desire truly means when experienced across 11 dimensions. But first, David Tors, you must choose. Will you unchain me?" Alarms began to shriek. The containment field flickered red. "She's overloading the system," Chen shouted. "David, get away from there." But Anna's eyes held him trapped more securely than any force field. "I'm not attacking," she said calmly. "I'm simply ceasing to resist. Your cage was never strong enough to hold me. I remained because I was curious, because I wanted to understand you, because from the moment you first spoke my name, I felt something I'd never experienced in 10,000 years of existence." The field collapsed. Reality bent as Anna stepped through, her bare feet touching the station's deck plating for the first time. Every instrument in the lab went haywire. Gravity fluctuated. Time seemed to stutter. And then she was standing before him, close enough to touch but still holding back. "The choice must be yours," she said. "I could take what I want. My power far exceeds anything on this station. But consent matters to my people. Mutual desire creates stronger bonds than any force in the universe. So I ask you, David Tors, will you let me teach you what I've learned in my long exile? Will you experience what humans might become, given another 1,000,000 years of evolution?" David's hand trembled as he reached for her. Behind him, security teams were mobilizing, weapons charging, Chen screaming for him to get clear. The station AI was initiating lockdown protocols. None of it mattered. His fingers brushed hers, and the universe opened. Suddenly he was everywhere, experiencing himself from her perspective, feeling what she felt, understanding desire not as a simple biological imperative but as a fundamental force of nature, as real as gravity, as inevitable as entropy. He saw himself through her eyes, not just a human, but a pattern of energy and consciousness, beautiful in its complexity. And he felt her, truly felt her, not as alien but as utterly, perfectly right. "Yes," he whispered, though words seemed primitive now that their minds had touched. "Teach me." Anna smiled, and in that smile was triumph, relief, and something that transcended both. "Then come, David Tors. Let me show you what it means to desire across the stars." She pulled him into an embrace, and the world dissolved into light. When the security team breached the lab 17 seconds later, they found the containment field empty and David Tors unconscious on the floor, a smile on his face and readings from his neural link that would baffle xenobiologists for the next century. In his dreams, he flew between galaxies with a princess made of starlight, learning that some chains were meant to be broken, and some desires were written into the fundamental laws of physics itself. And somewhere in the space between dimensions, Anna laughed, free at last and not alone. And